Hi kindergarten, it's Mrs. Cummins. I am doing my videos at home, so I hope you can see me okay and I hope you can hear me okay, but we are going to start our video by doing our welcome song. Are you ready? Let's do our action song, okay? Hello everybody and how are you? How are you? How are you? Hello everybody and how are you? How are you today? Come on everybody and quack like a duck, quack like a duck. Quack like a duck, come on everybody and quack like a duck today. Come on everybody and wiggle your fingers, wiggle your fingers, wiggle your fingers. Come on everybody and wiggle your fingers today. Come on everybody and cluck your tongue, cluck your tongue, cluck your tongue. Come on everybody and cluck your tongue today. Good job, kindergarten. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to practice our memory work. So maybe we can do this one together, okay? So John 14, verse 6. Jesus answered, I am the way and the truth and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. Good job, kindergarten. So we're going to move on to our Bible story. And our Bible story today is about David, who becomes the king. So we know that he was running away from Saul because Saul wanted to kill him. But now Saul has passed away and he has, which means he has died. So now we're going to talk about David and how he becomes king. Okay, so our ears should be listening, our eyes should be watching, and our hands should be in our lap, okay? So in spite of all the trouble between David and Saul, David was sorry when he heard that Saul was dead, and he wrote a sad song of mourning because we know that David liked to write songs and he also loved to play the harp, right? So he wrote a song about Saul. David asked God, "Is this the right time for me to move back to Judah?" And God said, "Yes." So he and his 600 men and their families all went back and settled in the city of Hebron. Right away, the leaders of Judah crowned David king of their tribe. Meanwhile, Saul's army commander, Abner, chose Saul's son, Ishbosheth, to be king of the other tribes of Israel. So God's people were divided into two groups, each with its own king. So they had King David and they also had King Ishbosheth. For several years, they fought many battles, and each trying to take control of the whole nation. And gradually, David's group became stronger than Israel's group. After a while, Abner and Ishbosheth had a quarrel, which means they had an argument or a fight. And Abner offered to surrender all of Israel's forces to David. But in exchange, you must make me the commander of the combined army. A commander is somebody who's very high up in the army. Now, Joab, one of David's chief soldiers, hated Abner. So without David knowing, he murdered Abner. Then two of Ishbosheth's army captains killed Ishbosheth and bragged about it to David. David was angry because he had wanted always to be fair to everybody in Saul's family. So he had the assassins killed. With Ishbosheth dead, all the people of Israel said they wanted David to be their king too. So his kingdom was united at last. So now David is king over all the nations. Isn't that wonderful? So now David is the good king. So today, in your package, you have a craft to do. So I'll kind of show you what Mrs. Cummins looks like. I'm pretty excited about this craft. So I'll read it to you. David waits to be king. What more can I say to you, Lord God? You love me, your servant, so much. So this is a little story wheel about David's life. So this is David, and he is the shepherd. So that's how he started his life, right? He was a shepherd. He took care of sheep. And now this is him, and he is the king. So you have to color your story wheel and put it together. There's a little pin that you have to poke right in the middle of the story wheel so that it will turn around. So I'll kind of show you what the pictures are. So the first picture we have is David taking care of his sheep. And the next picture, let's move my story wheel this way. So the next picture is David with his slingshot. And remember what he used that slingshot for? Let's find out. He used the slingshot to kill the giant Goliath, right? Let's see what happens in his life next time. He plays a harp, right? He wrote different songs and he played the harp for King Saul. Yes, so there's a picture of him playing the harp. Then what happened in his life was that he was running away from King Saul and he was hiding in a cave, right? He hid in a cave so that Saul could not find him. And now that Saul is dead and Ishbosheth is dead, David has now become the king of all the nations. So this is kind of the end of our Bible stories about David. And we're going to talk about someone else next week, somebody special as well. So, but I'm not going to tell you who it is because it's a surprise. So that's what your job is today. And I will see you on the Google Meet. And on the Google Meet, we're going to do an alphabet game, but we're also going to do a bingo game too about our emotions. Okay? Bye, kindergarten. Have fun making your story wheel.